What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel and to my FIFA 21 promo prediction series today with the Rulebreakers Team 2, as I'm sure you're already aware from the thumbnail and title alone. This video will likely be shorter than usual, but it'll just consist of me chatting about what's to come for the game with each of the promos throughout the year as usual, as I'll be doing like Footmus, Team of the Group Stage, Team of the Tournament or whatever. You know, Team of the Year, you know, my nominees and whatever else, and then maybe Winter Refresh. We'll get onto all the promos throughout the year, so if you're interested in this sort of thing, yeah, make sure to stick around for the channel. And today, I just want to go over, you know, what's to come for the game, explaining which players I expect to see featured in the second squad of the Rulebreakers promo, or Ultimate Team promo, whatever you want to call it, whichever you prefer. Homing in on, you know, how the cards might just look, and most importantly, how it's going to affect your market. And finally, I do want to mention that the majority of the promos this year are being promised of two separate squads, as well, as you already know, in week 1 and week 2, so it'll be quite interesting to see how they spread out all of the promos in each of the cards that come to the game. And for anyone new to the channel, I've got player reviews coming very soon, as I've hinted at endlessly now. I bet you just want the videos out already. Road to Glory videos out on the channel. I don't know if you've watched them, but if you have, make sure to tell me your opinion on them, to be honest, because obviously I'll have more just rolling out on the channel. I also have videos that are going to be very similar to this, if not exact, in that they're more formal and informational videos, quite like today, for anyone who's just, you know, wanting to be ahead of the curve, in a sense that you'll have a better understanding of what's to come for the game, maybe some investments that are just waiting to be made off the back of these sort of videos. And so anyway, if you do go on to enjoy the video today, make sure as always to subscribe to the channel with your notifications on to never miss any future uploads when they go live. And from you, the viewer, with any video ideas, thoughts or feedback, of course, on my content, feel free to comment down below. And if you're interested in my socials, the links will 100% be in the description box down below as well. As with all that out the way, we will get on with the actual predictions and explaining what's in the promo itself. And we'll start off with Jude Bellingham of BVB Dortmund, of course, and what a player he looks to be, becoming the youngest ever starter in the UCL competition. Quite interesting, quite impressive, I'd say. Another Englishman next to him on the screen, as you can see, in Leeds United's very own homegrown Calvin Phillips. Correct me if I'm wrong, but unfortunately he has picked up a pretty concerning shoulder injury against Wolves, I believe it was. The game that they went on to lose 1-0 a game or two back. And is he actually going to be playing for his side much at all for the rest of the start of the season, just on the basis that he's injured? It'd be quite interesting to see, but as you can see, his card will be very insane. And then Sanderberg right next to him, who, as it seems, does have a pretty interesting card itself. He is a big player, very demanding in some sense, quite tall, quite strong, and so in many ways he will only be good for certain scenarios in FIFA, but it'll be interesting to see how his card would look if he actually went on to feature in the team. And obviously it's been quite interesting to see how they've worked the upgrades this year for this promo, considering that we've seen EA upgrade the cards every month in different ways, starting with 2 huge stat boosts, for example, on their pace and dribbling, and then a few months down the line we're seeing cards with insane passing and defending, and it seemed a little bit mindless, a bit random if you ask me. And then obviously as we move on to the objective card in Kieran Tierney of Arsenal, and the same idea with the Mukiele objective, in that his rule breaker card for Leipzig, and you know, it's a very nice card, but it does take certain objectives that have to be played in certain modes, and I think it'd be the same with his Tierney card and what a card it would be. Can imagine that a lot of tryharding would be involved in order to get this sort of card in this friendly specific mode, but I think it would be quite fun to actually know that you're going to get this caliber of card after. But again, it's a massive guessing game with these sort of promos, in the fact that other than leaks and maybe a couple of hints from EA and the players, you really don't know too much in terms of facts. It's all guessing, like I said. But as we move on to the next lot, in Ryan Kent, the ultimate FIFA 21, or FIFA 20 rather, rat, Jeffrey Kondogbia of Valencia, and Juan Cuadrado, and maybe just a couple more that are going to be thrown into this team, and together it should make a pretty solid team, I'd say. Team 2, hopefully, and more for the sake of the actual promo itself as a whole, has to be better than the first week, because apart from maybe Kane, who from what I've seen isn't even that good, and then maybe Mertens, I don't see it being the best promo in the history of FUT. But I will say that there has been a couple of decent cards, and it's a nice concept, if you will. But as I was saying with the previous upgrades for Ultimate Scream, we have seen upgrades similar to the idea of the next year from what I was talking about earlier, been that the upgrades, whilst they were pretty mindless and they were permanent, so you would get cards by the end of the game that have like 99 rating selective stats, and that was also quite interesting. But it also meant that apart from maybe the 2 stats that were upgraded to 99s everywhere, you know, the card were pretty bang average, and you know, it wasn't that exciting unless you had like a striker that had 99 pace and shooting, or a defender with pace and defending. But for the next focus, I do want to turn your attention to the player pick SBC. This concept I have here, very similar, if not exact, to the one that's actually in the game at the moment with Iñaki Williams, in that it's based off of that player pick SBC, with the 2 options giving different stats, and obviously my prediction here being Josef and Martinez, and either options being the lesser pace and much better shooting, or the nice pace boost and the lower shooting. It gives the choice to the player. Maybe you have a team that fits a more slower player but better at shooting, a more composed player, as opposed to maybe some pace demon with okay shooting. So it'd be quite interesting to see how he would look if they brought him, a lot with most of the other cards in this game, in that, you know, they're quite inconsistent with the upgrades, at least what I've seen from this promo alone. But as we move on to the last set with Frank Ribery, Marcelo, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Di Maria, and this is quite an interesting group, I have to say. A very exciting set of players. Some of the cards being outright attempts to revive these players in foot. Players like Ribery and Marcelo just aren't really good enough right now, but Ribery with good pace and the amazing 5-star combo that he already has makes him a quite interesting proposition. And then Marcelo, for example, with an all-round great boost. Obviously, he's already got pretty outstanding dribbling, hence the 5-star skills. But the fact that he's got 5-star skills, 4-star weak foot, you give him a bit of pace, a bit of strength, and he actually becomes a really solid fullback. Ibra with the usual boosted card. It's quite interesting to see that he usually, pretty much always gets an 88 rated card every year now. And so for that reason, I don't know if he will, but I have, you know, carried on that tradition, and it'd be the typical thing where he gets okay pace again. And then Di Maria momentarily returning to the regular pace demon that he always has been, with the lesser shooting ability and top end passing and dribbling to, you know, finish off the card, hopefully making him quite the beast in game. But overall, that does pretty much sum up the team for me. And as always, as I mentioned before, doing to make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Only like 40% of you are actually subscribed, if that. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel and me out a hell of a lot. And of course, make sure to leave a like rating if you did enjoy the video, and make sure to stay around the channel for more content like this. And I'll continue to upload on the channel. I appreciate all the support, and I guess I'll see you next time. Peace.